Welcome to Alta Survival. Today we're going to talk about knife grinds so you can decide which is the best grind for you. Which is the best grind for the way you use knives. When it comes to knife grinds, there's numerous. So go ahead, talk to your friends, listen to the experts, do your own research, and take all that into consideration. Today we're going to keep this really basic and super easy for you to understand. Just as a quick example, let's say I get out to the lake at 5:30 in the morning with a bunch of friends and we're heading out to the duck blind. Most of the guys have their 12 gauge shotguns. Some have 20 gauge and I have my 22 long rifle. I'm not going to hit the limit on birds, but I'll take a couple home. Similarly, if we decide to do some plinking when we come in, the shotguns are not going to do as well at a distance, but I'll enjoy shooting the 22. And the reason I'm saying this is because knife grinds all have their purpose. The point is, if you pick the right knife grind for the job, you'll get the best use out of your knife. Which knife grinds are we talking about? There's a slew of knife grinds, but today we're going to cover grinds that are specific to bushcraft and survival. On this end, we have durable knife grinds, and on the other end, we have sharp knife grinds. Now, that doesn't mean a sharp knife can't be durable or a durable knife can't be sharp. What it does mean is the blade geometry makes a difference. Blade geometry includes the design of a blade, including its thickness, spine, curvature, and grind. Using a finely sharpened thin blade for chopping will increase the probability of a blade rolling, chipping, or breaking. Conversely, using a durable thick blade for fine carving won't cut it. We're not talking about blade steel today, just the grind portion of knife geometry. In this graphic, what you see is the cross-section of knife blades to demonstrate the shape of the knife grinds. Let's start with the durable end of the chart, the convex grind. It's super durable, and here's why. Behind this cutting edge, there's a lot of mass. This mass can withstand a lot of pressure from all sides, such as chopping or batoning. Whether you're talking about an axe head or taking a big butcher-style knife and hacking into a tree, there's a lot of durability in a convex blade. Although a convex blade has a lot of durability, when it comes to something like shaving or feather sticking, it takes some practice to get the same results as we can get with some other blades. For contrast, let's jump to the other end of the spectrum, super sharp. Here we have the flat grind. The cross-section of a flat grind looks like a triangle. When we grind it, we go from the spine of the knife straight down to the cutting edge. Here, behind this cutting edge, we don't have a lot of mass. Nothing close to the amount of mass that we have behind a convex edge. So this means that as we apply pressure to the blade, we have an increased chance of this thing rolling, chipping, or breaking. When we talk about cutting, carving, slicing, and skinning with a knife, a flat grind really shines. The reason for this is when we put the angle of the knife to a piece of wood with the lower angle, it's going to slice well, giving us really thin shavings. Those are the two different extremes. So what about some of the variations in the middle? Now that we've seen the two extremes, let's jump back to the more durable side of the chart. Another very durable knife grind is called a Scandinavian grind, or a Scandi grind, which is a really popular grind for bushcrafters and survivalists. As we look at the amount of mass here, what you're starting to see is that we have a little less mass behind our cutting edge than we do on the convex grind, but we still have more mass behind the blade than we do on a flat grind. Now, something like this Scandi grind is going to give us durability, not as much as a convex, but it's still going to give us durability because of the mass behind the cutting edge. So not as sharp as a flat grind, but still sharper than a convex grind. At this point, you can see how this chart demonstrates the differences. With a Scandi grind, we not only can use them for batoning wood with ease, but we also have enough mass and structure behind the cutting edge to be able to use snap cuts to chop down saplings and still do fine shavings and carvings. They're just not going to be quite as good as some other grinds. Which leads me to the last grind we're going to cover. That's a Sabre grind. With the Sabre grind, we have even less mass behind the cutting edge. So as we move in this direction, the durability is starting to decrease. For a survival and bushcrafting application, the Sabre grind is my favorite grind, and I'll explain why. When I need an all-around knife, I'm still looking for durability, so if I need to, I can baton wood, and still be able to do fine carving and shavings and skinning too. When I go out in the woods, I usually have an axe, which is a convex grind, and I use that to chop and split wood, and I don't have to worry about damaging the blade. When it comes down to doing camp tasks, like carving and skinning, I want something sharp, but I just want that little bit of extra durability, just in case I need to cut a sapling or split something. I'll post a link to this chart so you can download it. Take some time to look it over and really think about what you're going to use your blade for. If you plan to carve a bunch of cups and spoons, a flat grind might be what you want. A Sabre grind is a flat grind, but it just doesn't run all the way up to the spine. This makes for a slightly inferior cutter, but for a slightly stronger blade. To summarize these 4 grinds, let's look at them on a graph to demonstrate durability versus sharpness. The convex grind is stronger, but a little trickier to maintain. They're excellent for hard-duty work like chopping. If you're really going to beat it up, consider a convex grind. Scandi grinds are durable and give you a little more versatility than a convex. A Sabre grind gives you even more versatility, with a sharper cutting edge and a fair amount of durability. If you're mostly going to be carving feather sticks and creating shavings, then you're right in the middle with either a Scandi or a Sabre grind, along with your axe. A flat grind is a jack of all trades and is considered the most versatile all-around blade type. It is, however, on the opposite end of the spectrum from the convex grind. Now, is there a perfect grind? Absolutely not. But if I had to choose one for all applications, the flat grind or the Sabre grind are pretty easy choices. Fortunately, you get to choose which one's best for your application. Again, do your research, swap opinions with trusted sources, and then make your decision. Or just take a stab at it, no pun intended, and then adjust if you need to. Of course, there are chisel grinds, hollow grinds, asymmetrical, compound bevels, and so on. But I wanted to stick to these 4 because these are primarily used for bushcraft and survival. Hopefully this expands your knowledge on knives and knife grinds, and why knife makers apply these different grinds. Ask yourself, why are you carrying that knife? What's its primary purpose? The answer to those questions should probably lead you in the right direction so you're properly prepared. I hope this helps. Don't forget to download the chart with the knife grinds as a reference. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you missed out on the downloadable resources from the Get Home Bag series, I'll leave a link to that. Be vigilant and stay ready. And as always, check us out at altasurvival.com and check out this video for some gift ideas.